let me pose a scenario to you. You're in need of a new headset, mouse, keyboard, laptop, smartphone, graphics card, microphone, or just any other piece of new tech. And you don't know which item or product in your price range is going to best suit your needs. So you do a little bit of homework, you identify a bunch of products in your budget, and to make a decision on which one to get, you watch or read a whole bunch of tech reviews. But how do you know the tech review that you're watching or reading is being honest with you and is actually helpful? I've got a couple of tips that I use when I watch tech reviews. And boy, do I watch a lot of tech reviews. Tip number 1, watch more than one review. Now understand, when you have a lot of products that you're looking at, you don't necessarily want to watch 50 reviews per product. So once you've been able to narrow down the list a bit, when you've stuck down to between 1 and 5 products, I suggest you watch multiple reviews. That way you get a very good idea of the product and different user experiences. Different people reviewing a product are going to use it a little differently or have slightly different use cases, which means you'll get a more all-round review and be able to pick up on a lot more about the product before you actually open and use the product. So watch more than one review. Don't trust a reviewer who tells you this product is outright the best. He's probably lying to you, or he doesn't know enough about that product category. There is no such thing as a perfect product or a one-size-fits-all solutions. A good reviewer will tell you about the strengths of the product or even better use cases for the product, but they're not going to tell you that it's outright the best, unless there's only ever 1 or 2 options in a category, which, let's face it, nowadays you always have options, especially when it comes to tech. So make sure your reviewer isn't trying to sell you a product and is rather trying to inform you about the product. Make sure the review you're watching is an actual review and not an unboxing. The problem with unboxing videos is they only give you information about the packaging and initial first impressions of the product. There isn't someone who's gone and used and tested that product to give you the best possible feedback on it and to actually be able to inform you on it. It's important to make sure what you're watching is not an unboxing and is actually a review. Otherwise, you're more likely to miss something that's going to have a very big impact in the long term. And really, you don't want a phone that has a battery which is only going to last you 2 hours. It's practically useless then. Always make sure you watch reviews from a source that is either well established or very transparent. A reviewer needs to tell you how they got the product. If a reviewer isn't telling you how they got their product, it leaves a lot in the air and you don't actually know if a company is paying them to give a good review. It's important that a reviewer tells you where they got their product from and what they're doing with it. If they're getting paid to do the review or if they were just sent the product to review. There's a big difference. I personally don't trust anyone who's paid to do the review, but I'm okay with reviewers who I just sent a sample to review. A lot of the big reviewing YouTube channels out there do that. Linus Tech Tips, if he reviews something, it was sent to him. Next big thing, a good tech reviewer is going to point out the flaws and isn't scared to point out the flaws in a product. Remember, there is no such thing as a perfect product, and if there are no noteworthy flaws for someone to point out, there's nothing that product is going to excel in far above the rest. Remember that the jack of all trades is the master of none. That's a little bit of wisdom that I don't normally give out. But it's important that a reviewer does point out any flaws. If a reviewer doesn't point out any flaws or nitpicks, then there's something wrong with that review. He's not being honest, or again, he just doesn't know much about the product. Or she. Women can do tech reviews too. Another sign that you have a good tech review that you can trust is the tech reviewer doesn't promote a one-size-fits-all solution and actually shows that they have an understanding of alternative products and competitors in the market. You can tell when they compare the price of the one option to another option, or tell you other options at this price range do or do not have the same features. It's important that they're able to speak about other products and able to speak about the market itself. it shows that they have the knowledge to review the product. Not everyone can review a good gaming keyboard because not everyone can tell the difference between a good keyboard and a crappy keyboard. If you haven't used it like that, you wouldn't know. It's important that you have a reviewer that knows the markets, doesn't promote a one-size-all solution, and actually uses the products they're reviewing. Last little tidbit over here, make sure you always include at least 1 to 10 reviewers that have done multiple reviews. The longer someone has been doing tech reviews, specifically in a certain product category, the better they are going to be at pointing out things that you're going to need to know, and the better they're going to be at finding things that are easily overlooked, which could have a big impact. It's important to find experienced reviewers. Don't count out the little guys, but always include the more experienced guys in it. That is my little tidbit that I think is probably one of the more valuable ones on this list. Also, having an established reviewer that has a good reputation also helps. You're more likely to have a transparent reviewer who's going to be honest with you. Let's face it, bigger reviewers are getting more of an income regardless of whether or not that product sells, which means they're less likely to take out a deal where they give a good review for money. You're avoiding that by sticking with the more reputable, established, transparent reviewers. Again, don't count out the little guys, because sometimes the little guys notice things the big guys don't. But for the most part, it's always important to keep a bigger reviewer or a bigger source in your reviews where they have a bit more experience. Anyways, that's it for me. I'm Luke from Happy's Tech Hut. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to leave a like and to comment and then subscribe and ring that little notification. I'm going to draw a bell here. A little notification bell that looks like a weirdly shaped top hat. Don't forget to ring it. My social media is linked in the description down below. Check me out on Instagram, Twitter, Discord, whatever it happens to be. I'm also on TikTok, but I never post there. Or do I?